in cases where we are meant to advance in our practice and set the heel down, right? So maybe it's advance to the side, advance to the diagonal, or strictly forward, doesn't really matter. But the idea is that where we are meant to place the heel, followed by the rest of the sole of the foot, followed by the weight, followed by the expression of the, the punch, the push, the sweep, whatever the move is. And people are challenged to get their heel down first, and they find themselves reaching with the toes or the ball of the foot. What we want to do is make sure that they understand what the correct way to do it is in a given place in the form. We want to make sure that they're able to, so they have the flexibility, they're able to remember. So sometimes people don't because they just kind of don't remember it, or they can't physically do it for whatever reason. So among the reasons that people might touch down with the ball or toe first rather than the heel is they've forgotten. So that's easily correctable. Notebooks, reminders, taking your time, taking a breath, reviewing your notes, having the teacher watch. So that's like with most errors in practice, we can make things just from misremembering. We can also be inattentive, right? It's not the same as misremembering. I'm just inattentive. I'm thinking about the next move. I'm, for example, really thinking about my balance challenge. So by the time my foot goes down, it went down the wrong way. So that can be an issue. Another reason is that when I'm stepping, it means at some point my weight's on one leg, not the other. So I have a challenge to my balance. I'm on one leg instead of a two. I'm a biped on one leg. And the balance problem can be inner ear. It could be anxiety around it. It could be endurance, right? There can be a number of different reasons that I'm having challenge to my balance. And so then I'm in a hurry to put my foot down. And when we're in a hurry to put our foot down, often we want our foot down a little further from us, not very close to us, because I'm feeling off balance. I don't want to return to a small base. I want to return to a larger base. And that reach usually means that we reach with the toes, the same way that we might reach with our fingers rather than with a heel or a palm, feeling like we'll get further, faster, better. So oftentimes the reason people set down, even though they know how to do it and they can do it and they do intend it and they are remembering, they are losing their balance. So that can be something like developing leg strength, doing balance exercises. And it could also mean don't go as slow right here in the form as you might go because you're really testing your balance. And even though everything coming up to it was done pretty well, I'm going so slow here that I test my ability to maintain my balance, and then I kind of fall out of it. And now it's too late to correct. I've already put it down with the toe. Another reason that this can happen is that people just think that they're stepping further than they are. This often happens because their attention is on, I'm punching the guy, I'm taking another step towards the guy, I'm throwing him. And so rather than stepping here, they're stepping there. They have a sense of go further because they're excited about here's the throw, here's the push, here's the spear poke, or what they're visualizing happening. And so then rather than stepping to here, if, for example, that's where I was meant to step, they step a little bit further because kind of psychologically they're driving somewhere and it's more about making up ground than having width. So that can happen. The other thing is if we can imagine that this is the edge of a pool and I'm on the tile and there's the pool, what people often do is they say, I wonder how the pool is. I wonder how the pool is, right? People don't say, I wonder how the water is like this, right? Two reasons. One, you're going to get better thermal feedback from your toes than your heel, right? The nerves are going to function better for that. But to my point here is that I can reach my toes a little bit further than I can reach my heel. And the reason that I want to do that is because I haven't committed to swimming. I'm tentative. I don't know if I want to go in. Even though you said it's delightful, come on in. I'm like, I'm not sure. Is that how am I feeling? And because of that, I want to stay away and not mistakenly fall in. So I'm finding the furthest place I can be and still get the information. And so what we learned from kind of testing the pool waters is that when we try and go a little further, we use our toes or the ball of the foot, right? And so sometimes the reason that somebody is meant to step this way, or maybe it's more like this, it might be less exaggerated, but they're meant to step heel then foot, but they step here, is that in fact, rather than stepping to here, they're stepping to here, which in this case, like I've gone an inch and a half too far. But that little sense in the mind of reaching, which I've suggested could be because I'm excited about throwing the guy and punching the guy, but just a sense of, I think for whatever reason I have too far to go, generates the sort of unconscious reach of the toe or the ball of the foot. So if you are meant to step this way, and of course I'm exaggerating it by doing this, pretty good lift of the toes before I set the toes down. If you're meant to step this way and find yourself with some consistency or regularity stepping this way, I don't think it's usually enough just to say, hey, fix that. It's really helpful to say, let me make a study of why do I tend to do this. And for most people, it'll kind of be one reason, maybe two. Here's why I generally do it. Once you can ascertain the root challenge, then you actually have a methodology for fixing it, rather than just saying, I didn't do it again, I didn't do it again. I got yelled at for doing it wrong again. I feel bad for doing it again. All right, fine, that's not going to help you get better. Figuring out why you did it wrong is going to help you get better. And those are a couple standard reasons that I see people misstep.